Welcome to Investment Hub podcast on retirement benefits. I'm Lynn, and this is
Carl. Just call me Carl. Thank you.
great. Let us begin.
Here's a number that should stop you cold. Millions of Americans 65 and older are leaving thousands of dollars in government benefits unclaimed every single year. Not because the programs don't exist, they absolutely do, but because nobody told them where to look. Today, we're mapping out the full landscape of government support for seniors who retire early. By the end of this episode, you'll know your Social Security options, how to handle health coverage before Medicare kicks in, and the actual tools that tell you what you qualified for. And to help us break all of this down, I've got someone who has really dug into this stuff, so let's get into it. What is the single biggest misconception people have when they think about retiring early?
The biggest misconception is that early retirement means you're on your own until the government programs kick in at 65. That's just not true. The federal government offers dozens of programs designed to help older Americans maintain their health, financial security, and independence, and a lot of them start well before 65.
Dozens. That's a lot.
It really is. And the problem, according to GovFacts, is that many seniors don't know these programs exist or how to access them. So the gap isn't in the programs themselves, it's in awareness. People are leaving real money on the table.
So let's start with the big one, Social Security, because I think most people know you can claim it early, but they don't really understand what that actually costs them.
Right, so here's the deal. According to the Social Security Administration, you can start receiving retirement benefits as early as age 62. But, and this is a big but, you only get your full benefit when you reach what's called your full retirement age, or FRA.
And what is full retirement age right now?
For anyone born in 1960 or later, full retirement age is 67. And if you claim at 62 instead of waiting until 67, your benefit is permanently reduced by 30%. That's not a temporary hit. That's the number you live with for the rest of your life.
Okay, 30% is significant. What does that actually look like in real dollars?
So in 2026, according to data published by the SSA and analyzed by MaximizeMySocialSecurity.com, the maximum monthly benefit at age 62 is $2,969. At full retirement age, 67, that jumps to $4,207. And if you wait all the way to 70, you're looking at $5,181 a month.
Wait, so the difference between claiming at 62 versus waiting until 70 is over $2,000 a month?
For someone at the maximum taxable earnings level, yes. And the mechanism behind that is delayed retirement credits. You earn 8% more per year for every year you delay past full retirement age, up to 70. After 70, there's no additional increase, so there's no reason to wait beyond that.
So the SSA is basically saying the longer you wait, the more you get, but you have to be able to afford to wait.
Exactly. And that's where it gets nuanced. The average Social Security retirement benefit as of January 2026 is $2,071 a month, reflecting the 2.8% cost of living adjustment that took effect this year. For a lot of people, that's a meaningful income, but it's not a comfortable retirement on its own, especially if you're claiming early.
And the COLA, the cost of living adjustment, that applies automatically, right? You don't have to do anything to get that?
Correct. According to AARP, the 2026 COLA directly affects over 70 million Americans receiving Social Security, and it's automatic. You don't apply for it, it just shows up. That's one of the genuinely good things about the program.
So income is one piece, but here's what I keep hearing from people who want to retire early. The thing that actually keeps them at their jobs isn't the paycheck, it's the health insurance.
That is such a real thing. Very Well Health actually put it this way. For some people, health insurance is the thing that keeps them tethered to a job, even after they prefer to retire and have enough money to do so. And the core problem is that Medicare doesn't start until age 65. So if you retire at 62, you've got a 3-year gap minimum.
3 years without employer coverage and without Medicare. That's a scary window.
It really is. And according to Covered USA, adults between 60 and 64 use healthcare at a significantly higher rate than younger adults. A single hospitalization without insurance can generate 5-figure bills. So this isn't a theoretical risk, it's a very real one.
So what are the actual options for someone in that gap?
There are 4 main paths, according to Covered USA. First, and most important for most people, is the ACA Marketplace. That's healthcare.gov. Second is COBRA, which lets you continue your employer's plan for up to 18 months. Third is a spouse's employer plan if your spouse is still working. And fourth is retiree health benefits from a former employer if they offer them.
And the ACA Marketplace, that's the one with the subsidies?
Yes, premium tax credits are available to households earning between 100 and 400% of the federal poverty level. And here's the thing, because retirement income from pensions, 401k distributions, and capital gains can often be managed to stay below that 400% ceiling, a lot of early retirees actually qualify for significant subsidies.
But without subsidies, what are we talking about cost-wise?
In 2026, unsubsidized premiums for a 62-year-old on a silver plan can run $900 to $1,100 a month. That's brutal. But with subsidies, Covered USA shows that cost can drop to $50 to $600 a month. So the subsidy is doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
That's a massive difference. And I should mention the enhanced subsidies that were in place from 2021 through 2025 have expired, right? So 2026 is operating under the original ACA structure.
That's right. The enhanced subsidies that ran for those 4 years have expired, which means more people are paying more in 2026 unless Congress acts. So it's worth checking your eligibility carefully this year rather than assuming you'll get the same deal as before.
Okay. Now, what about people who genuinely can't afford even the subsidized options? What's the floor here?
So below the marketplace, you've got Medicaid for very low-income individuals. And then there's Supplemental Security Income, SSI, which, according to Savings Grove, provides up to $967 a month for low-income seniors 65 and older with limited resources. That's a meaningful income floor for people who have very little.
And once you're on Medicare, there are savings programs too, right? It's not just the base coverage.
Exactly. Medicare savings programs can save low-income seniors anywhere from $174 to over $800 a month on Medicare costs. And there's also the Extra Help program for prescription drugs. On top of that, starting in 2025, out-of-pocket drug costs under Medicare Part D are capped at $2,000 per year, which is a significant relief for seniors on expensive medications.
$2,000 cap on drug costs. That's actually huge for people on multiple prescriptions.
It really is. And insulin costs under Part B are capped at $35 a month. So for diabetics especially, these caps are life-changing in a very practical sense.
Let's shift gears a little because I want to talk about something people don't think about as much, food and nutrition. Because when you're on a fixed income, that grocery bill hits differently.
Yeah, and there's actually a lot of support here that people don't know about. SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, provides an average of $100 to $250 a month for seniors with limited food budgets. That's real money for groceries.
And beyond SNAP, there are actual meal programs, right? Not just food stamps.
Yes, and this is one of the most underappreciated parts of the system. New York's Office for the Aging, for example, runs community dining at approximately 1,000 locations across the state, senior centers, town halls, housing complexes, serving healthy meals up to 5 days a week. And here's the part that surprises people. It's not income-based. Anyone 60 or older is eligible.
Wait, so you don't have to prove you're low income to get free meals at a senior center?
Not for the community dining program. There's no charge, though participants are given the opportunity to make a voluntary contribution. And there are also home-delivered meals for seniors who can't prepare food themselves, whether it's a short-term recovery situation after a hospital stay or a longer-term need.
That's actually a really important distinction. The community dining isn't just about food, it's also about social connection, which matters a lot for older adults living alone.
Completely. And the Office for the Aging notes that registered dietitians are available at these sites for private nutrition counseling on diabetes management, weight, healthy eating, and you don't even need to be getting meals to access that counseling. It's a broader support system than most people realize.
Let's talk housing, because that's the other big fixed cost. What's available for seniors who are struggling with rent or home maintenance?
So on the home repair side, Savings Grove highlights home modification grants of up to $10,000 for low-income rural seniors who need repairs. And then there are programs specific to states and cities. In New York, for instance, there's a program called ZERA-I, the Senior Citizen Rent Increase Exemption, which freezes your rent if you're 62 or older and meet income requirements.
A rent freeze? That sounds almost too good to be true.
It's completely real. And according to the Grants for Seniors Guide for New York, it's one of those programs that is massively underused. There's also STAR, the School Tax Relief Program, which reduces property taxes for seniors. These are programs that can save hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year, and a lot of people who qualify have never heard of them.
This is exactly the problem, right? The programs exist, the money is there, but the information isn't reaching the people who need it.
That's the core issue. And it's why the benefit finder tools matter so much, because no one person is going to know every program in every state, but there are tools built specifically to surface what you qualify for.
Walk me through the main ones.
So the first one is USA Gov's Benefit Finder at usa.gov. You answer some basic questions about your life situation, approaching retirement, dealing with a disability, whatever applies, and it generates a customized list of federal programs you may be eligible for. It covers everything from food to housing to health to retirement.
And that's a government site, so it's authoritative.
Exactly. And then there's Benefits Checkup, which is run by the National Council on Aging. You enter your zip code and answer a few questions, and it connects you to programs in your specific area: groceries, healthcare, prescriptions, everyday expenses. It's free, it's confidential, and no personal information is shared. They also have a helpline at 1-800-794-6559.
So it's not just a website, there's an actual human you can call.
Right. And in New York specifically, there's NY Connects. You call 1-800-342-9871, and they screen you for local food, home care, transportation, caregiver support, housing, and benefit help, all in one call. The Grants for Seniors Guide calls it the single best starting point for older New Yorkers who aren't sure where to begin.
One call to figure out everything you might qualify for. That's actually a pretty elegant solution to a complicated problem.
It is.
And one thing I want to flag for people who are thinking about delaying Social Security past 65, the SSA actually says if you delay your benefits until after 65, you should still apply for Medicare within 3 months of your 65th birthday. Those are two separate applications.
That's a really important point. A lot of people assume that if they're not claiming Social Security yet, Medicare just waits too. It doesn't. You need to actively enroll in Medicare at 65, even if you're not taking Social Security yet. Missing that window can create gaps and penalties.
Okay, so let's also talk about caregiver support, because a lot of early retirees aren't just managing their own needs, they're also caring for a spouse or a parent.
Right, and this is an area where the HHS programs really come in. The Administration on Community Living, the ACL, promotes the well-being of older individuals by providing services designed to help them live independently in their homes and communities. And the Elder Care Locator, which is a public service run by the ACL, connects you to services for older adults and their families, including caregiver support.
And the area agencies on aging provide caregiver support services too, right?
Yes. According to the New York State Office for the Aging, local AAAs provide home-delivered meals, congregate meals, nutrition counseling, health insurance counseling, and caregiver support services. So if you're a senior who is also a caregiver, there are resources specifically for that dual role.
And longtermcare.gov is another resource in this space, right? For people trying to plan ahead.
Yes, HHS points out that about 60% of us will at some point need assistance with things like getting dressed, driving to appointments, or making meals. Longtermcare.gov helps people understand what's actually covered by Medicare versus what isn't, because a lot of people are misinformed about that and how to plan for long-term care needs.
60%. That's the majority of people. And yet most people don't plan for it.
Most people don't. And that's part of why the gap between what's available and what people actually use is so wide. It's not just awareness of the programs, it's awareness of the need in the first place.
So here's what I keep coming back to. The system is actually pretty robust. There's income support, health coverage bridges, food programs, housing help, caregiver resources. But the navigation layer, knowing what exists and how to access it, that's where people fall through the cracks.
That's exactly it. And the Savings Grove Guide puts a number on it. Millions of Americans 65 and older are leaving thousands of dollars in government benefits unclaimed every year. That's not a small rounding error. That's a systemic failure of information reaching the people who need it.
And the tools exist to fix that. Benefits Checkup, USA.gov's Benefit Finder, NY Connects. These are specifically designed to close that gap.
They are. And they're free. And they're confidential. There's no reason not to use them. The worst case is you find out you don't qualify for something. The best case is you find out you've been leaving hundreds of dollars a month on the table.
So when you step back from everything we've covered today, here's what this really comes down to. Retiring early doesn't mean falling off a cliff financially. There is a whole ecosystem of support built specifically for this transition. From the moment you stop working to the moment Medicare and full Social Security kick in and beyond.
And the key insight is that these programs layer. Social Security gives you an income base, even if you claim early. The ACA Marketplace bridges your health coverage until Medicare. SNAP and community dining programs handle food costs. Housing programs like CRE or home modification grants handle shelter. SSI and Medicaid catch people at the lowest income levels. No single program does everything, but together they create a real floor.
And the actionable piece, the thing you can do today, is go to Benefits Checkup at benefitscheckup.org or USA.gov's Benefit Finder and just answer the questions. Let the tool tell you what you qualify for. Because the programs are built, the money is allocated, it's just waiting for you to claim it.
And if you're in New York, call NY Connects at 1-800-342-9871. One call, and they screen you for everything: food, housing, health, caregiver support, transportation. You don't have to figure out which program to call first. They do that work for you.
We started this episode with a number that should have made you uncomfortable. Millions of seniors leaving thousands of dollars unclaimed every year. Now you know why that happens. And more importantly, you know how to make sure it doesn't happen to you or someone you care about. The programs are there. The tools are free. The only thing standing between you and what you're entitled to is knowing where to look.